Well, welcome to it. It is a Monday evening right here on CUTFM 105.8. It is Cutting Sport that you are tuning into. My name is Ester Nontsikelelo Baatjies. I'll be with you from the hour 6 o'clock until the hour 7 p.m. Well, for now, let's give a shout out to Karabo Sands holding it down there on the next level afternoon drive, standing in for Andy. And he did quite a spectacular job. I enjoyed listening to him back on the airwaves after a long while, actually, not hearing me on our airwaves. So, well, we're back into it. It is a Monday evening and we cut up some sports right here, like I said, on your number one sports program in the Free State. And it is that time of the year. We are back with the Betway Premiership having resumed. I'll be giving you details of that and more, as well as a sensational win coming in from Arsenal there against from Manchester United. Joe, Tandy will kill me. Well, a sensational win coming in there from Manchester United against Arsenal as well. Well, Kaizer Chiefs also making history in Zambia, being the first South African team to beat Zesco in Zambia. We'll be talking also to Vina Mophosa there from the Naturena village. They're making their way to South Africa currently, but he had promised that he will give us an ear in to give us just what is it looking like right now for Kaizer Chiefs in camp, considering after that CAF fixture coming into a Betway Premiership fixture that will be against Marumo Gallants. We did speak to Silenduna previously last Monday, and just alluding that, you know, the team are preparing well looking into this fixture. Now we will be hearing from Kaizer Chiefs, will be traveling making their way rather to Bloemfontein for that to take place at the Dr. Petrus Mlimela Stadium. All that and more coming up right here on Cutting Sport with myself, Ester Nontsikelelo Baatjies. Good evening. It was a showcase for the Knights, I have to say, because we saw, the players coming through, each also just getting in at their milestones. And it was just an absolute, I don't know, man. It was so beautiful. It's a beautiful result altogether from the Knights having that 88-run victory against Border. But looking at the overall performance of the team in its entirety, you have Joe van Dijk taking 2 wickets, Tiaan van Vuuren coming in from the SA20 as well, taking as well the 2 wickets apiece with Joe van Dijk as well, sharing the wickets. And then Stembi Lelanga also coming in there with the 5 in the third innings there against Border. Significant play that came through from the Knights cricket that is now setting a daunting 559-run target in their second innings. Border showed plenty of fight on day 3 and throughout much of the final day on Sunday, refusing to roll over without a contest. Now, at stumps on day 3, the Linyati were 129 for 3 wickets, with Vian Ruthven leading the resistance on an unbeaten 68 runs, as well as Ngeti Simalika also providing support on 10 not out. Now, the Knights began day 3 with a commanding 184-run lead after skittling the Linyati for just 142 in their first innings. Now, that effort was set up by the superb 5-wicket haul, like I said, that came in from Stembi Lelanga. Now, we all know that Stembi Lelanga altogether has a great fondness, so slipping there to second place on 90 points, while the Garden Route Badgers dropping to third on 86 points. Both teams remain to third on 86 points. Both teams also remain firmly in the promotion hunt and also will square off in a crucial encounter that will be from Thursday in Oudtshoorn. Now, Thursday's showdown between the Rhinos and the Knights at the Uplands College in White River is scheduled to get underway at 10 a.m. And now just to give you also cricket action that took place, the SA20 wrapped it up also this weekend, and that was also Sunday evening. The Sunrisers Eastern Cape etching their names into the SA20 folklore in Cape Town on Sunday evening, becoming the first team to lift the trophy 3 times after a composed 6-wicket win in Pretoria over the Pretoria Capitals in the final at Newlands. That took place now playing in their 4th SA20 University final. The Orange Army reclaimed the title they surrendered to MI Cape Town last season. Now, I did indicate that MI Cape Town, for me, did not perform that well this season, and we're giving it back the title that is to the Eastern Cape Sunrisers there. For me, it just went down very easily, sealing the victory with 4 balls to spare, and once again proving that finals cricket is very much their happy place, because they did give us quite a sport. Congratulations there to the Sunrisers Eastern Cape. Now let's take a quick break, and just after this we'll be getting into the Betway Premiership as well as CAF, everything football, right after this break. Now, we did see that the league is taking quite an interesting turn as Masanda wanna try hard to close in the gap between them and the runaway Bucks. Now, on the other hand, Kaizer Chiefs will also look to put more pressure on the top of the Betway Premiership table as they are coming in to face Marumo Gallants. That is on Wednesday, and this all taking place at the Dr. Petrus Mulemela Stadium in Bloemfontein. Now, kickoff for that is scheduled to take place at 7:30 p.m. That is 7 in the evening. Now let's take a quick look into the current form of Marumo Gallants. That is, Marumo Gallants have not started 2026 rather on a high note, having, failed to losing rather to a team as like TS Galaxy 2-0, fam. And all of that happened in Polokwane on Wednesday. Bahlabane Bantu have not won any of their last 5 Betway Premiership fixtures, registering 3 losses and 2 draws. Now, their biggest achievement of the season came before the international break, where the Bloemfontein base side lost the Carling knockout final to Orlando Pirates. Now, I want to say that in that one, they do give us quite a performance. But when it comes to the lead fixtures, I have to say they have not been very consistent. And I did phrase that question to the spokesperson of the team, that is still Duna. Like with the inconsistent performance that have been coming in from Marumo Gallants, we do acknowledge the milestone that is also getting to the Carling knockout finals. And much was expected from them, as we do know them to also be quite competitive in this competition. And, coming out with that result was also quite a heartbreaker for a lot of their fans. Now, also coming into, this current encounter fixture that they had against TS Galaxy, not the best performance coming in from the team. But they did have a friendly as they celebrated their 5-year anniversary that was last week Friday. And the team had a friendly match set up, and that was against the Tabanchu Kasi World Cup winners. And they call themselves now Tabanchu Kasi World Cup FC. So they played a friendly against Marumo Gallants there that took place at the University of the Free State, and Marumo Gallants edged them 2-0 there, 3-0 rather, that is. So I think that is quite a confidence boost, for the team going into this next encounter or fixture that is against Kaizer Chiefs. Now, having had that achievement, they sit 12th on the log standings with 15 points from 15 games, and will also be looking to put the distance themselves in the relegation zone. Now, quite a repetitive thing that we see with Marumo Gallants. They find themselves closer to the relegation zone when we head closer to the end of the season, and they just move their way back up again into, not out of the fire or danger zone. And it's a thing that we've seen, or they do repeatedly. So it's not much of a concern if you ask me as a sport fan or a sports analyst. I don't see much of a worry. With football, anything can happen. A lot of people were saying that, Kaizer Chiefs, there's a possibility that they can take the league. And a lot of people are saying, no, that is so impossible. And I am saying there's a lot that can happen in football. So we can't really just, put a finger on it to say specifically this is how the turnout is going to be. The players and the game on its own controls the narrative. While Kaizer Chiefs, we know, restarted the 2025 league campaign with a 1-0 win that was over Lamontville Golden Arrows, and that happened, it was a home game, and on Tuesday that was, and having continued rather their good form. Chiefs also claimed a 1-0 victory over Zesco United in their CAF Confederation Cup clash in Ndola in Zambia on Sunday. Now, I did say that they did make history. They're becoming the first South African team to actually win against Zesco in Zambia. So no other South African team has actually ever done this, and it's quite a milestone for Amakhosi, as well as the co-coach Cedric Katse. That is, so Amakhosi remain undefeated in the Betway Premiership since their 3-1 loss, that is, to Sekhukhune United. Now, that match, if you do remember quite clearly, took place last year in September. So they sit comfortably third on the log, having overtaken Sekhukhune with 27 points from 14 games. Now, with Pefeni, the Glamour boys have only lost one league game this season and will be looking to edge closer to Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns in the title race. Now, just to give you what was said following the CAF Confederation Cup victory that happened over Zesco United on Sunday, Kaizer Chiefs co-coach, that is Khalil Ben Youssef, said that squad rotation would be key for his squad with their demanding schedule. He said this month alone they are so busy. They have at least every 2 days or 3 days they have a game, and they'll play at least 11 games in 48 days. So they will rather need all the squad members. Ben Youssef also said that they do have a big squad, so they can make the rotation also, and they can also allow for other players to take a rest. We do know the importance of this. I mean, Coach, we did hear Coach Gavin Hunt last time when it was still Dan Malisela coaching Marumo Gallants. We heard Coach Gavin Hunt when they played Marumo Gallants here. He did mention, the struggle of having to travel. The fixtures that PSL and FIFA and SAFA, schedule are too tight. They are too compact. They need to, find a better way to schedule these games, because if they do it on their own, they do find a way in which it could work. But then if they also propose that schedule to SAFA, it's also another problem. So I think altogether SAFA would have to do a better, job when it comes to scheduling games. And also now look at the proximities of the cities in which, you are placing these games and when you want them to play. I mean, schedule, based around that. Look at Kaizer Chiefs right now coming in from the CAF Confed and now coming to play Marumo Gallants now on Wednesday and again on the 3rd, or when is it? On the 3rd or somewhere in February. They're coming back again to play, that is Siwelele FC. So all that traveling, you can imagine the fatigue and the strain it causes on the players as well. So it's important. I understand why he says the rotation. People are saying, no, keep the squad because it's working for Kaizer Chiefs right now. I would agree. But if we are honestly honest, these players are human. They are not just people that we take and move sticks on the pitch. So let's have some ubuntu and, allow the coach to do these rotations with the players so that he can allow rest for each of these players. Now, players to watch out for me, Marumo Gallants, I would say Jason Clifford will be looking, to add a 4th goal to his league tally for the season. So he's a player for me from Marumo Gallants that I would say you would look out for. And then Kaizer Chief Flavio Silva also getting off to a hot start at Amakhosi and also having bagged 4 goals in 8 league games since joining the club, averaging a goal every 2 games. That is quite impressive play for me. So I would say for this encounter right now, these are the 2 players to look out for. Well, the time is exactly at 30 minutes past the hour 6 o'clock, and you're still tuned into it right here. It is Cutting Sport on your number one urban youth radio station. It is CETFM 105.8, my campus, my youth, my radio. My name is Ester Nontsikelelo Baatjies, and like I said, we're getting into it. It is that encounter that was Arsenal versus Manchester United, and I'm telling you, Tandy could not stop grilling me for that encounter. She could not stop. She kept on going, Manchester. The only red devils that matter, the only reds that matter. Like she couldn't stop. So I want to do her justice and just give it to you. The breakdown of that wrap up that was that game. While Michael Carrick urged Manchester United to build on the remarkable start to his interim reign after Matthias Cunha's Rockets sealed a stunning 3-2 win at the Premier League leaders Arsenal. Carrick has been hired until the end of the season following Ruben Amorim's dismissal on the 5th of January. Now, the former United midfielder jumped at the chance to return to Old Trafford after being sacked by a second-tier Middlesbrough in June. Now, let's get into it. I have to say, Arsenal was not having their best games. I was watching that game until halftime and I was just like, the pedigree to turn around in this game is absolutely not there. Ayiko. And it made me wonder, it made me worry. You know, talking about Arsenal's current form, you're talking about Arsenal being the log leaders right now. You're wondering, you're questioning yourself, you know, is there a possibility that Arsenal could actually secure the league? We've seen this also happening in history, like I said, with Marumo Gallants, Arsenal topping the league and then, you know, sitting at the top of the table. And then next thing you see, they are not performing anymore. And then you see them down there and then you're just wondering, where did all that football action go? I mean, you know, like there was absolutely, I'm not gonna lie, like I feel like Manchester City literally, they let us score from a set piece. Like, guys, do you understand how embarrassing that is? I am not going to lie. That is the most embarrassing thing for me. For, you know, as a Ghana that has been, you know, performing this well, considering our form as well. You know, it's baffling if you ask me. But then what can we say? What can we do? Well, the top of the Premier League and Champions League still in both domestic cup competitions. Arsenal fans should be relishing what could yet turn out to be their greatest season in the Ghana's history, of which I feel like we could be, but also it comes with a lot of what ifs, you know. Because you look at the 3-2 defeat to Manchester United, it reopened, you know, the debate over whether Mikel Arteta's side can shrug off their tag of too nearly men to deliver, you know, a first league title in 22 years. Now, Arsenal still hold a 4-point lead over inconsistent Manchester City and surprise package. That is Aston Villa at the top of the table with 15 games to go. Now already assured of progression to the Champions League last 16. Arteta's men are also well placed to reach the Champions League Cup final and have a favorable home draw against their third-tier Wigan and the FA Cup fourth round. But legendary former captain, that is Patrick Vieira, also questioned the mental strength of the current Arsenal crop after a tentative display against United to lose at home for the first time this season. That's what I said. The display of football that was showcased by Arsenal, the fact that it was a home game for you guys to come and give us that kind of football. It reminded me of that game of Erling Haaland in the Manchester City. I mean, their recent fixture. Erling Haaland being all over the field. And it felt like I was watching literally 10 of Erling Haalands on the field, just running around and not understanding where they should actually place themselves. And I feel like literally, like I'm saying, Manchester City, because scoring from a set piece, that is embarrassing. So he also said that there's still questions about the mental strength of the team. He said they need to understand when they are on the pitch, they have to play with more energy and more risk. They have the quality. So that's the very same thing that I'm saying. Like, we just need to see more action coming in from the team. That's what also the coach of Orlando Pirates also alluded earlier in now with their fixture as well, saying that, the team is there. They have they just have to bring out that willingness. But the action plan is there for the team. The coaching of the talent is there for the team. They cater everything for every individual in the team. But it is up to them to come up. The willingness literally comes from them. So after back-to-back goalless draws against Liverpool in Nottingham Forest, Arsenal conceded 3 goals for the first time in nearly 3 years as a rejuvenated United won at Emirates for the first time since 2019. And that's the one thing that made Tandy and them very excited. It's the fact that they did this all at our home ground. Well, congratulations. That is to Manchester United. Shortly after the short break, we will be getting in touch with Vina Mophosa from the Naturena village just to give us the a head start, as to what is happening right now in the Kaizer Chiefs camp, as well as to what preparations are going to look like going into this encounter with Marumo Gallants. The time is exactly 36 minutes past the hour 6 o'clock. It is Cutting Sport you are tuned into. Well, let's take a look at the time. It is exactly 42 minutes past the hour 6 o'clock right here on your number one urban youth radio station. It is Cutting Sport with myself, Ester Nontsikelelo Baatjies, right here on CUTFM 105.8. Now, I did promise you that we will go into the Naturena village and speak to Vina Mophosa there to just give us, the lowdown just as to how the team is feeling considering that win with over Zesco United that is in Zambia. Now, Mr. Vina Mophosa, welcome to CUTFM. Just to the Naturena village in its entirety for making time for us also right here at CUTFM. Firstly, congratulations on that beautiful victory coming in there against Zesco. Can you just take us through, what is going through the team's minds and what actually that did to the team spirit, considering it would be a huge confidence boost coming into this fixture against the Marumo Gallants that is.
The backdrop of winning the Betway Premiership back at home. So if you consider all the facts that relate to the congestion of the schedule that we headed to, we do not have much time to reflect on the past. We just win the match and we move immediately. So we will review, of course, the tapes and see where we need to improve. But the two competitions we're playing are different. I mean, when you look at the CAF Confederation Cup, you look at playing in a group of 4 teams. You look at the points that you need to accumulate to proceed to the knockout stage. And it's not one of those tournaments that you want to play pretty. You just want to play to win. So in our minds at the moment is nothing else but Marumo Gallants on Wednesday. That is what is occupying our discussions now. How do we recover quickly and how do we prepare quickly for... It's always a big game between us and Gallants. They bring their A game when they play against us. So, but we relish that opportunity. We're excited. We love them that way because we are a big team and a big stage team. So we like exciting games. We like the games that the supporters love to see. And our players like that type of environment that we anticipate at Dr. Molemela Stadium on Wednesday.
Now, let's get into, we know the importance of this fixture to the team, yes, and we acknowledge, but can we also take it back to what the coach said, this being a very busy month that is for Kaizer Chiefs, considering you have 11 games in 48 days, and that's like a lot. The pressure, the strain, coming in from a CAF fixture and now coming back to your PSL fixture, what does that look like for the team and how are you managing that and making sure that you are executing this beautiful form that you are currently giving to, as Kaizer Chiefs?
we anticipated that when we said we want to go back to play in CAF, hence we signed so many players. Most people thought we even, we're not thinking when we signed 12 players at the start of the season. So we knew what is going to happen, and we anticipated that. And I think we are mentally ready to take on the challenge. Remember, there is still Nedbank Cup that is coming through next week in Cape Town to Stellenbosch in the last 32. So we've signed for this game, and we're passionate about it. We just love this game, and we will fight until the last game. We'll compete for each and every competition that is at stake. So that is a kind of mindset that is prevailing in our camp. The players are aware of that, and the technical team is working hard to see to it that we rotate even the players accordingly and avoid injuries, avoid fatigue, and take on this challenge as it comes.
Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mophosa. Now, just before we close off this interview, we do know that Kaizer Chiefs is a team of strategy and obviously, surprising us all the time and, coming out with the results that mostly shock, most of our supporters. Can you tell us what we can expect in this encounter against Gallants?
If you follow international football, you realize the excitement that came with Man United beating Arsenal. And I was telling someone that it shows that football needs Man United. And when Man United was not doing well, lots of people were frustrated. And it was at a time when us as Kaizer Chiefs were not doing well, and we were likened for Man United, in terms of us losing matches. But the point I'm driving at is that we have noticed the impact we have in football and in the spirit of the people. Once Kaizer Chiefs does well, lots of people start to follow football. And generally the atmosphere and the environment, we find it very, very happy, and the people in the streets and in their engagements, the peace sign and prevails, So when we play Marumo Gallants on Wednesday, it is in that sense that we want to make people happy. And we know the challenge that we're facing is that it's not only on the pitch. We're faced with the challenge of the people looking for good results and good performance from Kaizer Chiefs. And this is funny because it doesn't only talk about our supporters. I mean, the neutrals, when Chiefs play, people get interested to know what's going to happen in the match. People, you've seen the social media. You've seen how supporters are engaging. It's just, those trollings and all that. They're just keeping people busy and laughing and keeping people away from the stresses of every day. So we're going all out to Bloemfontein. We're looking forward to it. As players are looking forward to it. We will recover tonight and to make sure that tomorrow we put some few polishing touches before we get on to land in Bloemfontein tomorrow afternoon. So we're excited about that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Mr. Mophosa, for making time to speak to us. Talking about those trollings, I heard they say that Kaizer Chiefs now wants Senegal. So we are looking forward. We're looking forward to that.
I saw that one.
Yeah.
But as I say, it's in the spirit of football and creating excitement. As long as there's no people who get into it aggressively and end up in fights and stuff like that. Because we are love and peace. The spirit of people, happiness, in the country. Yeah, I thank you, and we look forward to see you guys in Bloemfontein, and if opportunity arises, visit you in your studio.
Yeah, thank you so much. We would definitely appreciate that. Well, thank you so much, Mr. Mophosa, for making time to speak to us here. Well, that was Vina Mophosa, all the way from the Naturana village, just explaining to us there how the Naturana boys are looking forward to this encounter, and just explaining to us the excitement that is in the camp. But to come to Bloemfontein, it's always a big thing for Kaizer Chiefs when they come to Bloemfontein, because they say that they have quite a number of supporters there, and it's true, we have seen they come through in numbers. Well, just before we head off the show, are we going to do Aiden McCarthy? We're going to listen to Aiden McCarthy, and, as we know that he played quite spectacularly there against Zesco, that is. Well, let's listen to him, Aiden McCarthy.
Fresh from Zambia, CAF Confederation Cup victory against Zesco 1-0. We're back in South Africa, now going into Betway Premiership. This is in Bloemfontein against Marumo Gallants. We're standing by with Aiden McCarthy. Please give us a rundown of what happened in Zambia before we get into the trip to Bloemfontein. What happened?
So we headed to Zambia on a trip that we knew we needed to collect all 3 points. The conditions weren't the best, but we had to adapt to everything, because at the end of the day, both teams are playing on the same field. But we knew what we wanted. We fought, and we stuck together as a team and collected the 3 points.
In the meaning of that 3 points, now that you halfway now, you start looking at the group table?
In terms of the group table and our points with the other teams, the chances are much bigger for us to qualify and go through to the next round. So the belief is there, and it's yet to be done with the remaining games.
The last game we played in the Betway Premiership, you scored a winner. And I think that was sweet because it was your first in the league game for Kaizer Chiefs. Can you take us just in one sentence to that moment, and then tell us how you plan to score more goals in future?
Scoring my first goal for the club in a league game, it was definitely one to remember. I found out that my father and I made history scoring against the same team, as our first goals for Kaizer Chiefs. It's definitely one for the history books, and I'm looking forward to scoring many more.
Well, that's how we wrap it up right here on Cutting Sport. That was Aiden McCarthy just expressing his impressive play and milestone right there for that is the Naturana boys. We look forward to hosting them here in Bloemfontein. We know it's always a turn up when Kaizer Chiefs make their way right here to the city of roses, and we look forward to all of that and more. Well, from me, Ester Nontsikelelo Baatjies, it's been an amazing show. I had an amazing time engaging with all of you right here on Cutting Sport. On the technical production is Tabo Lechuku, and on content production is myself. Until next week, Monday, it's goodbye and God bless.